Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Women's Maximum Fitness Podcast. My guest today is IFBB Pro, Liv Roth. Liv, how you doing today?
Good. How are you? Thank you for
Good.
having me.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan. Your physique is incredible, and I think that you have just started prep, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
about a
So,
week in.
pardon?
About a week in.
Okay. What's the show that you've got picked out? How many weeks are you?
Anywhere from 16 to 20. We'll kind of see where my body ends up. I don't like to pick a date because
Yeah.
health and what last year looked like for me, you just never know. So,
Well, we'll talk about that. What last year was like for you. Is this going to be your pro debut?
hmm
Okay. All right. Super exciting. Okay. So, let's see. So let's talk about your background. What was your like athletics growing up, and then what transitioned you into bodybuilding? What got you started with that?
So when I was like young, like elementary level, I played basketball, I played soccer, I played, the sports your parents are like, yeah, go do something.
Yeah.
Um, but as I kind of progressed into soccer, I kind of realized like I can't handle a ball. You just can't. I have no foot skills, and I was very fast.
Okay.
So I basically transitioned into running track, starting in high school, and did very well at that. Ended up running D1 in North Carolina,
Okay.
and did 2 years of that. Completely, D1 sports, they run your life.
Yeah.
Um, and my freshman year, I started dating a guy who was bodybuilding,
Okay.
and basically was like, you're a waste of genetics if you don't bodybuild. Like you need to do it. And I got into it. I fell in love with it, and I ended up quitting track. Kind of told myself, I'll go to the Olympia. I will not go to the Olympics, and I can put my time into that rather than drilling myself into the ground at college.
Nice. So, how old are you now?
I just turned 23.
Okay. So how long have you been training? So let's talk about how long you started training before you did your first show.
Um, I t- I probably started taking it seriously
Uh-huh.
um, when I started prep for my first show, and which turned into my pro card. So I can't lie. I have the genetics for this.
Yeah.
My body wants to put on tissue,
Yeah.
no matter what. So even when I wasn't 100% focused when it came to food,
Mhm.
training was always 100%, but I was just able to grow and grow and grow and in the right places, which put me in a good position for my first show. So once I started prep for what was my first show, which was the North Carolina State Championships, that's when I was, 300% in the gym, outside of the gym.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. Um, and from then, which was December, I guess I prepped through that Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving 2018, which I then competed in May 2019.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So you won the overall.
I won the overall at North Carolina, and then I swear, like, I had to be dragged by my hair to go to nationals. I was like, there's no way in hell. These girls are crazy good. Like, I'm so young. Like, no, hell no. I wouldn't let anybody come. I was brain dead, so I couldn't drive to nationals, it was only like 4 hours away, but
Yeah.
still brain dead. So I had a friend drive me down. I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea what I was doing. I went and got my card, and I left.
That's so crazy. That's
I
so
know.
crazy. Well,
It's Hmm.
Do you think that so I've been thinking about this a lot. I feel like there's just a whole crowd of younger competitors that are coming up. Almost like there's like a 10-year gap, right? And I feel like y'all are really catching up, and I want to attribute a lot of that to just the guidance that you have now. You might be a little bit of an anomaly because you had, it sounds like, some good help along the way. But I think like with social media and stuff like that, like 10 years ago, people were like, I'm not really sure as a female how to train. And the training style is very different. Now, a lot of you see like we train like the guys, you guys like hypertrophy, progressive overload, like all this stuff is very like you're starting it now. You're not like figuring it out for 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I do say, like, from the beginning, that's how I trained,
Yeah.
which helped a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Like you
Now you
skipped
see,
all the
yeah, the trial and error, and it's, it works. The way I train, the way I do things, it
Yeah.
works. And I figured that out early on. So now a lot of people are figuring that out, and it's like
Yeah.
the progress that can be made in a natural state is insane compared to what you thought that a woman could do 10 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. So what was your, I don't know, how tall are you? And then what was your stage weight for your, when you won your pro card? Or was there a difference between your first show and your pro
I
card?
maybe dropped like a pound,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Uh, but I probably stepped on stage at like 126, 125, 126.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting at like 155 right now.
Okay.
So I ate myself without a doubt.
Your, your back is like reminiscent of, I feel like it's the female version of like Luke Sando or something. Like you're just a barn door. It's so wide, like
That
so
means so
cool.
much. Thank you.
So cool. How tall are you?
I'm 5'1".
Okay.
So a lot of people think that I'm tall.
That would be, yeah, that would be even crazier if you were tall. It's not, I don't want to say easier, but the muscle does compact nicely if you're like 5'2" or below. So
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you see men's open guys, nobody's over 6 foot. No one's,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, for sure.
anywhere near there.
Yeah, 5'6" guys, like 5'6" to 5'8" is a real sweet spot for, yeah. And for females too, 5 foot, 5'2".
You can just pack it on.
Yeah. So, well, that's really great. So you, let's see. So is that what you would kind of give advice to people is, who are trying to start out, to like find a coach or somebody who's going to guide them? Do you think it's the gym that's the most important part, of getting on track with bodybuilding?
Um, I think it really depends on the person.
Yeah.
Um, because the way that I train is just like a mental step that takes time to get to.
Okay.
Like, you got to put yourself somewhere where you're not going to be during the day. You're there to do that, and then you leave. You come out of that mindset.
Yeah.
And some people can do that and get to that, but can't do a diet.
Yeah.
Or a lot of women struggle with eating disorders,
Yeah.
and binging, and that's that part of it too. Some people can just full send at training, and then they step out of the gym and they can't. And whether I would recommend, a coach off the bat is going to depend on that.
Okay.
Because some people need the push in the gym, some people need the push on the diet. But at the same time, like if you're struggling with food, whether it be like eating disorder-esque,
Yeah.
I think that's something that needs to be figured out prior to taking everything else seriously. Because
Yeah.
it means so much in the sport that, you can't not full send on it.
Yeah.
You have to figure that out first, which sometimes can take a coach. It depends on the coach, because some coaches aren't going to deal with that, and
Right.
it's sad. But some people give you this, and
Yeah.
and you do that and figure it out.
Yep.
So I don't know, if you have all your nuts and bolts together, sure, yeah, hire a coach. But if there are some different things that need to be worked on,
Yeah.
I would always recommend working on that before considering taking the next step in the sport, doing a show, or anything, because
Yeah.
it'll catch up to you. You can be motivated in your first 6 weeks. It's going to hit you like a brick if you didn't have it figured out prior to starting.
Right. So is the diet something that you have struggled with at all? It sounds like the training came naturally. You skipped to that part where, a lot of people are trying to figure their way out around the gym. And even like, I think sometimes when people start out, you can't really, like, beginners can't apply that intensity. So I think you even we're ahead of the game in that respect, because you can't just tell somebody to train hard that doesn't know how to connect with the muscle, right? So, there's definitely that. But so is the diet something that is kind of natural for you as well? Because the eating disorder thing has been, with me doing these interviews, it's very prevalent, and most, even some on the pro level of these women, have had struggles with it or have had to overcome that type of a challenge.
Yeah, and you see it. It's so common. It's
Yeah.
crazy, and it's almost like some start without it and
Yeah.
just develop it. Because of everyone's obsessed with looking lean,
Yeah.
especially with media. It's crazy. Your off season is your off season. You do not need to be lean, and it doesn't click. But I don't think I follow a plan.
Yeah.
I adhere 100%, and whether I am under good guidance or not, I'm still going to adhere 100%. I found out the hard way. So I don't know. I feel like, my main issue is self-doubt and just more, as crazy as it's going to be to hear for someone else listening in, is going to be the body issues, and just the way I look, the way I carry myself, the way I look year round, because I don't push drugs in the first place. I don't push drugs to stay lean. So I'm not going to stay lean, and I will never stay lean, which I know, and I can speak proud to say. But then when it comes down to it, I struggle hard in my off season, and then, we tap into 6 weeks out, and then I'm just in this hole. So I don't think that training is an issue, because I truly love it. And then eating's not an issue, because if you tell me what to do, I'm going to do it. But the mental battle is just crazy for me, which will lead into just a tunnel of, why am I doing this?
Right.
I won't be ready. I will never do well, So I think that's my main issue, where, I'm like, I'm not even going to work out today, because why would I? Because fuck this, right? But then you look back and it's like, you're a fucking psychopath, but part of the sport.
Yeah, it's really tough because, like, I look at you, and I think a lot of women, depending on how much muscle they would like to have, but I think that you look lean. I remember Christina Bittner saying that too, like, that she wasn't lean in her off season. But if you have enough muscle, I think it doesn't really.
If you have enough muscle, you will still look shapely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And, I think I did this past off season, I had to really, really focus on health over anything, over training, over food. I need to focus on health really bad.
Yeah.
And doing that, I stayed pretty lean this off season, nowhere near the way some people decide to keep their off season. But
Yeah.
I got to a point where I was uncomfortable for about 4 weeks, because I was dealing with thyroid issues, and that's just something you need to do. If you're going to naturally correct a thyroid, you're going to put on some fat.
Yeah.
And so that's this past off season. So since November, that's probably the most that I ever felt uncomfortable and feeling like I pushed it too far. But if I did have an off season under a different coach prior to when I was supposed to do my pro debut, who didn't speak to me until I posted on Instagram and I was fat. And I tagged them and it was, oh shit, you need to come down a few pounds, which is a scarring thing. You know, you're not going to do my off season, so I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And once I'm fat, now you're going to come talk to me,
Right.
you know? So that didn't happen this year. And, you know, I'll always control my off season from this point on.
Are you working with a coach during your off season now or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I work with Brian Trinello, who is under the standard training system. He's here in Houston. He's actually Hunter's training partner and coach at this point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So do you want to talk about some of these health issues or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fair game.
Okay. All right. So I know that something actually that I didn't realize was that just from dieting, I mean, I know it now, but just from dieting, you can have thyroid issues, right? From extreme dieting that happens to people. Was it related to that, or was it because of some PEDs that were involved, or don't you know?
It all started about March 2020.
Okay.
So I was prepping for my pro debut, which was good. I think it was going to be Savannah. You know, we were all kind of lost whether or not any show was going to go on.
Right.
So, I was coming down, and like I said, I don't need to push things to put size on.
No.
So I was not messing with any PEDs at that point. Really, when it really comes down to with me personally is estrogen. So estrogen blockers are something that I need to manipulate.
Yeah.
So I was under a coach who was pushing more estrogen blockers than he should have.
Okay.
And tell me to take something. If you tell me to do something, you know, there's about 3 things that I'll put in my body as a female. And if it's on that list, I'm going to trust your judgment because I trusted you to get me where I need to be. And he basically pushed me to a point where come maybe April, my estrogen was bottomed out at 0. My testosterone was bottomed out at 0. And to give you, you know, a synopsis of how that felt. So I was in the gym. This is the best example. And I was going to take a 5-pound plate off the bar, and I was narrow grip benching. I was just sliding the plate, and I dropped it, not on my toe, not on anything. And I could not control myself. I was hysterical. From that point, that was the point of like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, this is no longer me. I'm not hormonal. I'm not on my period. I am fucked up.
Yeah.
Truly, I couldn't control myself at all. It was so up and down. It was like being like pregnant, like your hormones were just everywhere. And I had no hormones. So from that point, I basically pulled out of the show and worked to try to get that up. And 4 months later, I went and got my labs done. And 4 months later, this is 4 months of trying to get healthy, and my test was at 7.
Weird.
So obviously just nowhere near where a female should be, estrogen or testosterone wise.
Right.
So I just worked and I started to feel healthy. And I wasn't healthy, but I was so I was done with that coach at that point. But I was so adamant of doing my pro debut. So I did hire a different coach, which looking back, if I had come to myself, I wouldn't let myself compete. I wouldn't even try. But that is what it is. And I tried and pushed myself further into the ground and did the exact same thing again. And just pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. You know, I ended up, my hormones were all over the place. I had been in a relationship for the past, had been about 4 years, which was coming to just coming to an end in a peaceful way, just fell out peacefully. You know, some people just fall out of love.
Right.
And my hormones were everywhere. I did not know how to handle, you know, not being with somebody who I was with for so long, even though that wasn't right for the rest of my life. And I got depressed. I got really depressed. And this is where, you know, on social media, I started talking a lot more about mental health when it comes to the sport.
Yeah.
We ended up picking up a lot of traction.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the next level of health, whether it went from my hormones to just this deep depression. I had nothing going for me in my mind. And I had some people out in Texas, which I'm in Texas now, Kyle Wurzel, if he ever ends up listening, who basically was like, come to Texas, come train with a bunch of guys, a bunch of the open guys, which was like a dream for me, because the way I train, you know, they saw it, they respected it, and opened with welcomed me with open arms, which was so cool for me. But once I got there, you know, Kyle, who had known me in the past, was like, you were just not it right now. I was so depressed, you know. It was horrifying looking back, and basically was like, you can't go back. You can't just, you know, dig yourself deeper and deeper and deeper. And I didn't go back, which is crazy to think about. I'm still in Texas. It was supposed to be a week trip, and I'm still here.
Did you think about like, did you go like find like a therapist or a counselor to talk to somebody in that respect?
No, I should have. You know, the way I was raised, I don't do that.
Okay.
I support it. I recommend it to everybody, and I'm often that person for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that's not how I function. I'm very independent, and that's that, which ended up hurting me. But I slowly got out of that, and really, those around me taught me to protect my energy, and which was everything. Not something I had ever thought about, ever. So I did that. I slowly but surely got my shit together. I now live in Texas, living my best life. But on to the next health thing, I started to notice that my hands were yellow. And which, you know, looks like jaundice. Yeah. And was very concerning for me. And I didn't say it to anybody initially, because I was just like, okay, moving on. And you know, the thing is, like, when it comes down to it, you know, there are PEDs that people take that affect the liver. And I wasn't taking anything, and I hadn't been for months. So I was like, why the hell are my hands yellow? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, I went on a couple months, and I was like, Hunter, my hands are yellow. And he was like, holy shit. Like, because I'll have to find this picture, like, they were yellow. And so I went and got my bloods drawn.
Okay.
And so here, this is me versus a normal human.
Oh my word.
Yeah, my friend the other day was like, looks like you were handling some minions. I was like, that's what I do in my free time. So they're good now.
Yes.
Moral of the story. But you know, another health hiccup, I went and got my bloods drawn. And in this time, this whole off season, I've just been like, fix your thyroid, fix everything. So everything's been textbook. I've been 100% off anything, just eating every 3 hours, focusing on my health. So when this starts popping up, I'm like, man, I've been doing everything right. And so I went and got my bloods drawn, and something that would be liver disease is going to be 10 times what your natural liver enzymes should be.
Sure.
So they weren't liver disease bad, but they were about 4 times what they should have been. And I wasn't experiencing any symptoms of anything other than my hands are yellow. I can just have, and my feet were yellow too, but my eyes weren't yellow. It was,
That's what I was thinking, because that's usually what happens is the eye yellowing is what,
it's the first thing. And it was ironic in the time that I was really starting to pay attention to it, because I had an aunt that passed, and when she was passed, she went complete jaundice, and it was kind of like I was like, maybe this is just like a sign of some sort
of connecting with her or something.
Right. It was, that's my head. That's where my head goes. Like, no, you need to get your shit together. But no, it was spiritual, right?
Yeah.
And so they were 4 times what they should have been. And Hunter and I actually we're going out to Revive in Stort, Florida, because he's signed with them. Yeah. And that's half gym, half actual like TRT clinic. So I went there and they were like, what the hell is wrong with you? Because they thought I was like fake tanning and only my hands. And I was like, no, that's my hands. And so they actually, the CEO, shout out to Dom, he's awesome, got me hooked up with glutathione, which is just great for the liver. So I've been doing glutathione. You have to inject it.
Yeah, that's the best way to make it work. Yes.
Right. Yes, and it's horrifying. It hurts so bad.
Oh, really?
Yes, but I've been doing it every other day, and my hands are not yellow. And I've been taking liver, that one of their like health supplements, but it's so far so good. So far not yellow. The glutathione works if you ever have liver issues.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I know I had seen somewhere on John Jewett's Instagram is the place that he and Renee go, and he was doing a glutathione drip or something like that, going in and having that done.
The first time I got it in Florida, they put it in the drip, which is a lot better than having to do it yourself.
What does it burn or something? Where do you have to inject it?
The actual needle was what I was afraid of. And so I'm like sitting there like waiting, because Hunter will do it for me, because I can't stab myself, Jesus Christ. And God. And he put it in, I like could barely feel it. And then he starts to put it in, it stings. It feels like you're like pouring like concrete in there or something. Like it hurts. It just disperses in this like stinging pain. And then like the muscle is sore the next day.
That's so crazy. Where do you inject it?
I have to like rotate it because of the scar tissue.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you had your numbers checked too, or your liver numbers, like your blood work, has that gone down as well?
I haven't gone back since they haven't been yellow. So I'm going to do, once I've done glutathione for about a month, I'm going to get them pulled again. Okay. Really pray, because I'm already in prep.
Yeah, you don't want to have to pause again. So, I mean, this is crazy. I think this is things that people don't think about, especially because, I mean, for women, for the most part, they think like, oh, well, if I just take, Anavar, Primo, Clen and T3, which is like the safe stuff that people tend to, fall into, the category people fall into. But you don't think about that. One, the mental health thing is huge, because anyone who has competed knows that whether you use performance enhancing drugs or not, you do have a depression afterwards. It's like you did this huge thing, it's done, and you're like, now I don't know what to do with my life, and it just coming down, and then 2 weeks later you don't have abs anymore, and like
it's not the mentality. At this point in my life, I'm like, just did a show, this rebound is going to be sick, let's go, let's push food. But nobody thinks about that. It's more just like, let me slowly wither away from what I really want to look like and end up looking like a normal human again.
Yeah. So, I mean, people who want to get involved in competing, I think really need to understand, that what type of mindset it takes, because I think you're right. You can either go into it because you had an eating disorder or come out of it with an eating disorder. And then, the same with, with your body fluctuation and just the highs and lows of being on stage and being off stage again. So do you have like a plan in mind for, or are you just going to kind of deal with it again? Because it sounds like, are you concerned about being, falling into a depression after, going through another prep or?
Um, I don't think because the reason I got depressed was not because I was coming out of being lean. It was more just the manipulation of hormones that was just extreme.
Yeah.
Um, so I personally, I don't experience that like I'm post show,
Yeah.
whatever. 'Cause I love being strong.
Yeah.
And I do hold my strength
Yeah.
until peak week, but I really, starting probably 6 weeks out, I'm not going to continue getting stronger.
Yeah.
So I use that mentality for myself. It's like, let's get strong again.
Yeah.
And, with my athletes personally, I really just like to put a focus on what did you not like? You are down right now. Look at yourself. What do you not like right now? What are
Yeah.
we going to
Yeah.
improve? And, off season doesn't have to be, a year.
Yeah.
Um, if you spend 5 months every single day with intent,
Yeah.
let's get back into it. As long as your prep was healthy, your previous off season was healthy,
Yeah.
you can do that. So really putting that emphasis on um what can we improve
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
you're about to get fat.
Right.
know?
Well, it's about riding that wave, right? It's just like life. You don't really know. This is a little bit more control over what the seasons are going to be, but you don't really know. And if you can't learn how to ride things out, I mean, you know, that's just part of,
Mental illness otherwise.
yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about pandemic life. Were you able to train through that? And do you feel like do you need training? This is something that Olivia Gravengard and I were talking about, how like she's like, do you think you need something else outside of bodybuilding? Because when the pandemic hit, a lot of the people that were training couldn't train anymore. And I know I struggled with that. Were you able to keep training?
I was very fortunate. Me and my ex ended up going to his parents, and they had some equipment in their basement, and we
Mhm.
basically bought anything we possibly could, and made it work. So we were very, very fortunate. And once we came back from his parents, which was a couple hours away, the gym let us start training out of the back door.
Nice.
So we were very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
But if it would have come down to it, I think it would have been upsetting um, when it comes to not being able to lift. But I do think that I would have um, gone probably back to where I came from, which is sprinting and
Yeah.
just physical activity in general. That, and I'm like a closet artist, so during the pandemic I was able to capitalize on that a lot, which was so enjoyable for me.
Nice. So you do have other avenues to manage stress and just like for um, your enjoyment or whatever.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, bodybuilding is my life, but there's more to life than bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I think that needs to be emphasized on a lot when it comes to competitors, because
Yeah.
you get injured and you're out. What are
Yeah.
you gonna do?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I want to touch on a little bit. Would you say that you have like body dysmorphia? You don't seem to see what you have? Do you?
Without a doubt. I know, because I surround myself with the best of the best people,
Yeah.
it's been drilled into me that I have potential. You know, I can do what I want to do in this sport.
Yeah.
Um, but if it wasn't for them, I would have probably quit by now, honestly.
Okay.
Because truly, you know, I look back at when I pulled out of the show 3 weeks out last year, and I was like, I was nowhere near ready. I was no like body fat wise, just musculature wise, I was nowhere ready. Like there was no way I was going to be able to do that. And I go back and I look at my camera roll and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like your glutes are striated. You're a
Yeah.
figure competitor.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? So yeah, I think that's my hardest part within the sport.
Yeah.
Uh, which Hunter was just joking around the other day. He was like, we're gonna remove all the mirrors in this house because I get so up in my head about it. It's
Do you,
less of, I feel like the leaner I get, the less confident I get, which is weird.
do you think it's because this happened so fast, or has this always been kind of the way you see yourself?
Before bodybuilding, I didn't even like look at what I looked like personally. I mean, before bodybuilding, I was nowhere what I am now. You know, I did everything I shouldn't have growing up. So it was never, you know, I was an athlete, and I was an athlete because I was good at what I do.
Yeah.
Which same goes for bodybuilding, you know. From the start I was very good at what I did, so it kept me motivated.
Yeah.
Which was very beneficial for me. Um and so I think that even before, like when I ran track, it wasn't about what you look like, it was
Yeah.
how fast you were. Um, and I feel like I was able to focus on that over what I look like.
Yeah.
And now, you know, I mean, I self-critique the fucking hell out of myself, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's what I can do in the gym,
Yeah.
and less of what I look like in the gym.
Well, I
If
mean, that's the cool thing about this sport is there's still other measures, and more and more now the emphasis is on, keeping a logbook. Everyone, this is how you should be training because, this is how we gain muscle, So, um, I think that you can do that. And yeah, I mean, there's other ways of measuring yourself, but in the end, what you're trying to do is create something aesthetic and build a, physique. So yeah, it's tough. I know Melissa Brodsky was talking about this too. She has a very hard time seeing what she looks like, you know? So I mean, it's fascinating. It's a great sport, and I have so much respect for it and the athletes, but there's a lot of you bring to light a lot of a lot of things that people don't think about with it.
intern.
Oh. So
Oh, we got dogs.
so um so you're getting ready, and I was going to say this too. I feel like too there is kind of like two types of people. You either build muscle pretty easily and have trouble losing body fat, or you're like a really skinny person who's lean with abs and struggle to put on muscle. Would you say that's
I can starve myself and still put on muscle.
yeah.
Did it my whole off season. um Haley, can you close the door? Thanks. But my body does not want to be lean.
Yeah.
It fights hard. I do a long prep for that reason. I know that.
That's what I was going to ask you. I think that's more common now too. I mean, people used to say, how long is a prep? 12 weeks. And I think we're realizing like you really have to either stomp hard on the gas pedal, and the outcome isn't, isn't.
Health. You're risking your health at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, have you ever cheated on a diet for a prep?
No, I mean, my off season, I'm a firm believer, like, you're in your off season. You
Yeah,
hit what you need to hit, but
yeah,
if you don't give yourself that freedom in your off season, you have an eating disorder.
yeah,
You cannot be one, you can't be dick skin lean year round.
right.
And you can't treat yourself like you're in prep year round either.
Yeah,
I think that's a huge issue within females in the sport.
yeah,
Um, because you either think you need to do that or you fail doing that or X, Y, and Z, and
yeah,
it just snowballs down. You know, you're so strict year round, you're going to hit a brick.
yeah,
You can't do that year round. And you know, you are mentally just
yeah,
you may not admit it, but one day you will.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not all there. And there's no longevity in the sport when it comes to that.
yeah. You have
So
to have the seasons.
yeah, so you know, with my athletes, your off season is very, very important. It's more important than um your prep.
Yeah,
Uh, but you know, when I'm doing a meal plan, it's give me all the foods you want. We will make them work.
yeah,
Because otherwise, you know, you're going to end up having that food because you restricted yourself your entire prep. You didn't have it. It's your off season. You're trying to build. You need the calories,
right.
but you're not going to give it to yourself. It's just this negative effect over and over again. So
Yeah,
you know, I eat 6 meals a day, but you know, one meal might be fucking a donut, one might be sushi, one might, you know,
right,
I,
right.
if I want a donut in my off season, I'm going to get a donut. You know,
Yeah,
if an athlete comes to me and is like, I really just need a donut, and I'm like, after your workout this day, your weak point, go get a donut.
yeah,
Uh, just because I want everyone to last, you know. And with social media these days, you know, it's such a mind fuck. You know,
yeah,
everyone's got their opinions on everybody. Everyone's looking at everybody.
yeah,
Really just it's so hard. It really is.
yeah. It's difficult because, you get the reward of the adoration when you look so lean. Obviously, those are the pictures and videos that get the most views and the most likes. But it's also, people don't understand what like what calories get down to and what you actually, I mean, a lot of times you're smiling or whatever, and you're, and it's just like, you don't know how painful it is to even be living when you're, 3 weeks out or 4 weeks
Right.
out. Yeah. And how low calories are. People are always like, oh, you looked so good. I want to look like that. And you're just like, I didn't even look like that for
That
yeah,
or like stage day lean. You're stage day lean for one day, and that's it. You
yeah,
can't. But you know,
yeah,
with social media, you know, people are lean and stock up on photos to be
yeah,
posted year round, and it's you know something I have to pull heads out of asses when it comes to some of my athletes who have the utmost potential and are sending me X, Y, and Z saying,
yeah,
look, I'm like, all right, and I'll send them their own photos back. Like, look at you, right? You know, it's crazy. And even like, so I'm working with Maddie Forberg for her
mm,
wellness debut, and she'll get her card this year. If she sticks to it, and she's hardworking. She'll do it.
yeah,
And but she's following these wellness girls
yeah,
who are posting pictures from prep year round. And you know, this week, you know, she's sending me this girl or this girl, and I'm like, I'm going on the internet like X, Y, and Z off season. and sending them back. I'm like, you look exactly like her. Like you don't, but you don't know because, if, there are girls in my division who stay lean year round and I'm out here looking at them, but you have to slap yourself into shape,
Yeah.
you can't do it.
Yeah. It's super interesting. And it's funny because if you can pick like, there's maybe 10 people on the whole freaking internet that are like that genetically, that they can, don't carry a ton of muscle, look very athletic, they're lean year round. And it's like, it seems like they're the ones with the most followers, and and it's like everyone thinks, oh, if she can do it, it must be possible. And it's like,
let me buy what she has because
yeah,
she looks like that.
yeah. And the other thing is you just don't know like the behind the scenes, because you can put happy clips on Instagram all day long and they could be maybe laying around doing nothing or just being miserable or yelling at their kids or whatever,
No idea. You're just looking at pictures.
Yeah.
So, social media is awesome when it comes to the industry, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's for mental health. When it comes to, men don't talk about it, they deal with it too.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, it just screws girls up. It really does.
Yeah. And especially when, there's like, when they're so young and their brain is still forming and they don't have a perception of reality anyways, it's like, it's a lot. It's a terrible, I guess I say it's a terrible food to be fueling your brain with, so much time on social media, seeing everybody looking happy and perfect. And yeah.
No idea. We were just talking the other day. So Hunter has a daughter. She's 5.
Yeah.
We were talking with Hunter's mom, just saying like social media, like compared to when, I got a phone.
Yeah.
Is crazy. But 10-year-olds these days on social media, and you see when it comes to bodybuilding, obviously his daughter is surrounded by bodybuilding. So as soon as she starts being on social media, she'll be right into bodybuilding,
Yeah.
seeing who's who and this, that, and the next thing. And it's just crazy because
Yeah.
you don't know how that's going to play a role in anything.
No, or development or whatever. Yeah, I know. It's kind of nuts. And I think about, even the people that are, I don't know, like I feel like it's a little bit exploiting your children if you have like, people have accounts with their children
For
or
their kids.
yeah, or they have a baby and then create another account for the baby. Like a lot of influencers, I'm like, that's really weird. Like, like maybe if you were going to do that and have like just relatives or something, like this is the baby.
It's like got 1 million followers already. And
yeah, yes, yeah, they've got like 15,000 followers already because they have like, that's so weird to me, I don't know. I mean, I have it for my bunnies, but that's different. It's actually funny because when I'm kind of sick of I don't really get sick of bodybuilding so much as like I follow a lot of evidence-based coaches, and you can kind of get overwhelmed with a lot of the information that's coming out. And so then I'll switch over to my bunny account and it's just like bunnies and everybody follows. It's funny.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, that is the cool thing about social media. You can find whatever world you are looking for. But I mean, even stuff my daughter will show me, the next swipe is like some girl showing you how to get abs. Like it'll be a funny whatever. And then the next is a advertisement for like being lean or whatever. So
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's just slid in there. Like,
yeah.
watch this funny video and then make yourself feel like shit.
That would be funny if you actually made something like that and just like, this is exactly what it is so people could understand.
Yeah.
So got you laughing.
Yeah, right.
Now you feel bad about yourself.
It's crazy. It's nuts. It really is.
Yeah. So what is your favorite thing about social media?
I don't know. I think it's the networking aspect of it.
Yeah.
I'm not a social person at all. I
Yeah.
have 4 people that I speak to in person. Um,
Me too.
so yeah, I think that gives me an easier way to branch out, because if it wasn't for social media, it would be me, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't anybody. Before I got my card, um, I was on social media, but I deleted my Instagram because I was just so in my head over the show.
Okay.
Uh, and I showed up to the show, and everyone knew each other. And like I sat in a corner by myself with a bunch of bikini girls, and I like got up, got my card, came back, had got my card, and they were like, "What the fuck?" Because I was, a lot of people like going into national shows these days, who was gonna win.
Yeah.
Uh, I wasn't big on social media. I just would post if I remembered to post beforehand.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I was like headed to Junior USA is like hashtag whatever. So nobody knew I was coming, which was
Yeah.
just really weird for everybody else, because everyone knew exactly who was there. And I was like,
Yeah.
hi. Like it was weird. But so I do think that there is a benefit to that,
Yeah.
you know, having a community and
Yeah.
knowing more people like you, because if you're in the middle of nowhere and you're the only bikini competitor, you are a zoo animal.
Yeah.
So being able to connect. So I think that's
Yeah.
probably one of the best reasons.
Well,
Otherwise,
I think it's an awesome community. And I mean, yeah, you're right. It's becoming more popular in my area too. But I mean, if I go to the grocery store too, it's just like, and it's the same because people are like, oh, wow, you like really work out. And I just think of the pros I know. So I'm just like, I guess,
right? It is.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So,
I had one of my clients who flew into Houston 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. She was just gonna go somewhere else to study for her LSATs, and I was like, "Come down to Houston. We can hang out, train, have fun."
yeah.
So she came here, and we would like go out in public, like with me and Hunter. Um, and she's not a bodybuilder. She's a lifestyle person. She will be a bodybuilder. She will be.
Okay.
But she like walking with us, and the way people are like, and just
Yeah.
like make or just stare the entire time. She's like, it's so foreign to her.
Right.
So, which is crazy. People really just stare. They really do. They
Yeah.
really.
Well, if you see, I mean, you see two of them together, two bodybuilders. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have I I don't know if you follow. Do you know who Demaya is? She's one of my clients.
Uh-uh.
She'll also get her card here.
Pull her up. Okay. So what's some of the weirdest stuff that you've been asked by in person? Anything strange happen in person?
I used to bartend
Okay.
at a nightclub. I bartended at a strip club for a while.
Okay.
Um, everybody wants to arm wrestle.
That's so weird.
Everybody wants to arm wrestle.
I wouldn't want to risk that. Like,
I would never arm wrestle somebody ever.
yeah, you
Never.
would like,
Can't handle that.
it's its
But
own sport. You have to know how to do that. Like,
yeah,
like, just because you have muscle doesn't mean you know how to. People, when I worked at a private cleaning company, they're always like, you are strong, you can open this. I'm like, these are show muscles. They don't like
so
they don't.
it's funny you say that. So the security at one of the clubs I used to work at, I was great friends with all of them. And we would lift, and I was a lot better friends with them than I was a lot of the other females.
Yeah.
And one of them, because everybody fights and they break up fights, and everyone kind of just assumes that I'm a security guard, or used to, and everyone would just really just mock me and be like, no, those are show muscles, they are not go muscles. And just every day, because there'd be like fights and this, that, and the next thing, like there'd be a girl, and I'm like,
Yeah. Like, no.
just the biggest wuss in the whole world. I could never, but
It's really funny. You are very strong though. I want to give you credit for that. I mean, you
I'm
know,
like, I'm strong in a plain emotion. That's it. Like I've never been in a fight.
Yeah.
Ask everyone around me. I don't raise my voice. I mean, what I portray on social media is nothing like what I am in person. Like it's nuts. It's such a facade. When it comes to the gym, I'm very, very hardworking. Like,
Yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah.
kill yourself doing a set. But as soon as I leave the gym, I'm like the biggest pussy in the whole world. It's really funny. Everyone's just like, if you guys even met, if you even knew her, is
Really?
I, it's his. I like go by Liv Roth,
Yeah.
but my full name is Olivia Rothenberg. Um,
Oh.
no, and nobody knows that, but everyone who knows me is like, no, Liv Roth. We know Olivia Rothenberg.
Oh, that's really funny.
hmm I'm such a different person. I'm just a teddy bear.
I think that what I get from this is that you would train and continue to train hard and do all that stuff, even if nobody was watching.
Yeah, because I would delete my Instagram if I wasn't paid from it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I love training. I love just dying. Like
Yeah.
that's what gets me going.
Yeah.
And training other people, that's something I don't really do anymore since I moved to Texas. But that's
Yeah.
like that's it. That's my real passion in all of this is the hardcore, just kill yourself sets.
Nice.
It's awesome. Yeah, even if I don't record the set, I'm still on the ground.
Well, I guess that's what it takes, right? That's what it takes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what really has been able to set me apart from
Yeah.
someone just if you had me and not my mindset, my same genetics is
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
what that's what I live for. I wake up every day and that's what I'm excited to do.
Yeah.
Um, even on a bad day, it's like I still have my job to get done, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna go do. A lot of what I said in a video I did with Gasp, it was which a lot of people quote now is, you know, uh, your muscles aren't gonna have a bad day. Your head, it's all in your head. Because your
Yeah.
muscles don't have bad days. If you're following everything to a T,
Yeah.
um, there's no reason why you shouldn't progress. And I'm a firm believer in that. Like if you are truly following the plan 100%, it's on you if you're slacking when it comes to intensity.
Yeah. That's really good.
Mhm.
So, well, do you have time to do 10 questions? We'll do 10 questions and then let you go. Oh, I was going to ask you, what are you, do you have siblings?
Yes, I'm the youngest of five.
You're the youngest.
I
Okay.
stole all the genetics.
Really?
Oh yeah. And
You're,
my sister, who's the next oldest,
yeah,
I think if she got into bodybuilding, she
yeah.
could be really good, but wouldn't commit to it ever.
Okay.
Maybe, but because she doesn't, you don't know. So yeah, if you looked if we put my whole family in a line, I'd be adopted.
All
We
right.
look alike, but we are all. I'm different than everybody.
Is there a huge, is there an age gap between
Yeah,
you?
there's 25. I want to say like 30, 32, 36, 34, maybe. So
Okay.
like a 16, 12-year gap. 16.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I was growing up when my oldest sister was going off to college when I was like
Okay.
2 or 3.
Okay. Then
Mhm.
it's almost like you're an only child then. Uh,
Yeah,
if you've
but
ever, one of my favorite books is called The Birth Order Book. It's by Kevin Lehman. And basically, if there's more than 5 years in between siblings, it's almost like the pattern starts over as far as, yeah. So you would be more almost like an only child type of personality, which is great because I mean, only children are like they're just rock stars. I speak bragging because my daughter is one, but but it's true. They're very driven. They're like, they have like all the good characteristics of,
I
yeah.
think it it was a blessing and a curse. Um,
Mhm.
I was the fifth child, and my mom was over kids.
Right.
So when I was pretty much 14, I was out. I was
Yeah.
done. I lived on my own, did everything on my own. And
Really?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. And my mom, she regrets how it was very clear, like in my mind, she didn't want another kid.
Okay.
So it was like, oh, I gotta raise you, I gotta do this again, so by the time I could do anything on myself, I did it myself, and then I was just gone. Um, and now it's funny because she was never that mom figure ever for me. And now she'll text me like randomly and be like, I never played with you as a kid and I regret that. Which is crazy. It's like, it's very sweet, but she now nannies these little kids, and she like got in touch with her motherly instinct. So
Sure.
now she's just like, she'll like go play with the kids and be like, man, I never did this with Liv. I'm gonna text her. So it's cool. It's weird. Like a lot of people would be like resentful, but
Yeah.
it's awesome for me. It's like she's now acts like the mom that I always wanted.
Yeah. Well, that's
So it's
good.
like, mhm.
Is your family really supportive of you, or do they not think it's a big deal, or what do you got? What's that?
um, they, I've been so independent forever.
Okay.
So it's like once I was kind of more successful on my own,
Yeah.
and kind of no longer like financially like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Um, they they respect what I do,
Okay.
and will support what I do, but will never understand it.
Okay.
Um, it's very much like if you're in prep, we don't even want to see you.
Okay.
So they're in Boston. I'm not there. I'm never there. And it's very much like I'll waste my time if I go home during prep.
Okay.
Which, yep, kind of upsetting sometimes, but
Yeah.
uh, it's just that aspect of if I'm going to be the best at what I'm going to do,
Yeah.
I can't go home because
It'll
when I need
derail you.
to eat, if I need to work out, I need to do it.
Yeah.
Uh, and they don't understand that.
Yeah.
As much as they'll respect it,
Yeah.
it does take a level of understanding to
Yeah.
fully respect what I need to do with my day.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So pros
You
and
know,
cons.
I mean, people come around though too. You can always, there's always that they always do. I mean, when I first started getting involved in it too, especially I was somebody with a background with an eating disorder. So my family was just like, I think they thought, okay, this is not going to be healthy at all. You know what I mean? But, after I won my first show, then they were like, oh, this is really cool. And now at this point, like if I go home, my mom's like she went and got a food scale for me, and she makes sure that there's like, you know what I mean, the food that I want there and stuff. So which I never would have expected.
Yeah,
That,
that's awesome.
and it's like you said, people don't, I mean, anybody who's not in it, like really in it, as they don't understand it, which is why they ask questions like, how much do you bench, and things
Right. Yeah.
like that.
It's funny because my mom, like, she's awesome. I love her to bits, but it's like she brags about me to like people she meets,
Yeah.
but like just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And like this is that like she doesn't understand. So we went out to dinner. I was in the Cape with my mom, my grandmother, and her boyfriend, my grandmother's boyfriend, and we
Yeah.
were out to dinner, and like I don't have like an aggressive bone in my body. Like I'm very just like if you come at me, like I will shut down. I will just shut down. I don't know what to do.
Okay.
And I don't do confrontation. I don't like you can just stab me in the back and I'll just be like, Let me just avoid this. And that's who I've just grown up to be. And even though I look the way I do, so
Sure.
it's contradicting. It's very contradicting for the general public. And my mom and my grandmother's boyfriend were like joking with the waiter, being like, "Just watch out, like she'll beat you up." Which like is like, my mom should know me
Right.
to the point of like that makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I can just I sit there in silence. I'm never gonna bother anybody, and like
Yeah.
it like if you like that's probably what bothers me most is people who are like, oh, like don't mess with like blah blah blah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and if you were to mess with one person, I would choose me, you know, like I'll always just like never stand up for myself and be super just removed. So I think that they support what I do, but just
Yeah.
they don't get it. They really don't.
It sounds like now you have a really great circle, which, I think it takes years for people to understand that, that you are, your closest five people, or that's what you're going to kind of become or be as good as. And it sounds like you have figured that out early. You figured out a lot of stuff early. I think that you,
Yeah. So we got intern. So Haley, she's interning under me technically.
okay.
She's getting her last 6 credits to intern under me.
Okay.
Um,
What is
and
this for? For
huh?
interning for,
So she's literally getting her last 6 college credits to intern under me. Uh,
okay.
and it's kind of just a meme. We're kind of conning the whole system. I taught her everything I know, but it's still just funny because we just fuck around and enjoy life. Just hilarious. I forget where I was going. Hold up.
Um, I said you were figuring things out early in your
Oh,
circle.
yeah, saying I'm old. So like Hunter he's 6 years older,
Mhm.
and but he jokes around. He's like, I'm the most immature person in this house, and like me and Haley are the same age, but she's truly her age. Well, actually, she's a year younger, but she's truly her age.
Yeah.
She's not immature, but she is her age.
Yeah.
And like we'll be talking and having a conversation, and she'll be like, I'm a kid. And I'm like, you can't say you're a kid because we're the same age.
Right.
Like, no, you're 42. Every time. You're like 42. You're just 42.
That's funny. There's a lot of good to that. I mean, if you got a wrangling on your emotions, um, yeah, everything. It just sounds like you have found your calling.
Yeah, and I think I'm very thankful for everything I did in my life, everything I've been through in my life. I wouldn't take anything back. It
Yeah.
may be quick, but I'm 23. I have my shit together.
Yeah.
I've been away for about 5 years, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't take anything back. It's
Yeah.
you struggle so you can come back stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deep from
Well,
that.
yeah, that's what this sport is all about, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's do some quick questions and then I will let you go.
Deal.
All right. So, country music or rock music or rap music? What kind of music do you?
Probably rap. I'm not a huge country girl.
Yeah. All right. Um, do you listen to podcasts or watch YouTube? What's your preference?
Man, I was in prep for so long last year that I can't watch or listen to anything. I don't even listen to music right now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I'm so burnt out of like just having stimulus in my ears. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's weird, but no, I don't watch anything. I used to watch YouTube, like
Yeah.
going to my first show, but
Yeah.
I can't get into anything.
Do you even watch any of your stuff? Like, didn't you guys just have a big gasp thing?
Yeah, I record with Gas
You
every month,
watch it.
but no, I
Okay.
was there. I don't need to watch it. I don't know.
Like,
I'm gonna start doing my own YouTube. That's my next project, and I'll focus on that.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Got 2 monsters.
What kind of dogs do you have?
A bully and a pit bull.
Nice.
One's a baby.
Oh.
He's a monster.
Really? You gonna go get him?
Yeah. Yahweh. Yahweh. Come here. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Oh, you're a monster. Oh, you're a monster. Oh, you're a monster. Oh.
Oh, look at the face.
Yeah. He's a monster. And he snorts.
How old is he?
He's about 12 weeks, 13 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, big time.
Well, I was going to ask baby animals or baby humans, but
Animals. Not kids.
no.
Nope. Never.
All right. All right. Heels or sneakers?
Sneakers.
Hike a mountain or swim in an oasis?
Hike a mountain.
Okay. Burgers, pizza, or sushi?
Probably sushi if I'm going long term.
Okay.
Right now I'm craving a burger. I would rather long term do it. Sushi.
Do you do cheat meals during your prep at all? Like do you refeeds?
Yeah, he'll refeed me.
Okay.
But no, not I don't know. We'll see what he ends up doing, but I don't think he'll have actual meals. He'll probably do an entire day.
Oh, I got you.
But I already eat just because digestion is so important when it comes down to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you know what? I know what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you about your training split. And what does your training split look like right now?
I train a push-pull off, legs off. And it runs in an A and B rotation.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty, that's good.
A lot of recovery.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like, do you sleep well? Do you,
sleep is probably my worst quality.
Yeah.
But I am horizontal for at least 8 to 10 hours.
Okay. Right. It's funny. It's been hard. Like I've noticed over the years as, I was one of those people that was like, when I first started training, it was like volume. And then like, you learn how to train more intensely. And I try to manage my stress, but I feel the same way that it's hard to do 3 days of training in a row. Like
yeah,
I know some people, yeah. Because yeah, go ahead.
Especially training, a push-pull legs variation, like doing pull and then legs.
Yeah.
You can truly train back to back like that. You ain't doing shit, and I'm doing, 4 sets a workout, essentially. My volume is stupid.
Yeah.
I still can't recover. So I need the rest. I used to do a push-pull arms legs off, but I pulled the arm day. I needed to just vegetate on on my rest days.
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering about doing like a day that was just like almost like a deload day where you just kind of do like a full body and go, because I do feel better if I move around rather than having to like maybe 1 or 2 rest days in a row. But yeah, I totally been playing with it because I'm like, every time I'm like, okay, I got my, go push pull legs. But I usually end up taking, then I can only train 2 days before I have to take a rest day. So
yeah,
John Jewett is doing a similar training split, I think, too, where he's doing 2 days and then an off day and then a leg day and then an off day. So
it's that or just like 2 on, 1 off.
Yeah.
I think with full intensity to where, I require people to take their sets and where I take my own sets.
Yeah.
Just can't do it. If not your muscles, your CNS.
That's yes. Yeah. You go into the gym and you're just like, God, it's just I just feel fatigued. Like I'm not going to get anything out of this workout.
Yeah. And, there are days where, that mental strength, like some days, like when my CNS is just fucked,
Yeah.
I still have to pull X reps, I mean, those are the mental days, but
Yeah.
that's pulling volume, monitoring volume to a T is
Yeah.
kind of everything for me. Because if I do one extra drop or one, oh,
Yes.
if I want to get a fucking shoulder pump, like hell fucking no, that wrecks me, which is crazy because I love a shoulder pump. I just want to do laterals up and down the fucking rack, but I can't.
Yeah.
That's what I've really tuned myself into
Yeah.
this past year is like
Yeah.
anything extra and I'm done. I push myself over, but
That makes,
everything's so to a T when it comes to
yeah.
everything.
That makes so much sense. Because you're like, oh, I feel good. I could do one more, but then the repercussions happen the next day or the next training session. Then you're taking away from the next training session when you do
Yeah.
extra.
Yeah, and you only have this much time to recover and grow. And
Yeah.
you're away from that because you needed more. And
Yeah.
even like one of my girls who's my other girl I mentioned before, she's
Yeah.
we were training at the same time. We were all in Austin, and she had been saying that she's hungry, and she starts prep next week. And I'm like, she shouldn't be hungry. She shouldn't be hungry at all. And I'm watching her train, and she's training with someone else, and they're doing like drop sets, and they're just like going hard. And I walk over, and I was like, I'm gonna call you out no matter what.
Right.
And I was like, where on your plan do you have a side lateral drop set?
Yeah.
Show it. I was like, just show it to me. Pull it up. Let me see it. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the opposite side of the gym. And I call her out on anything, and she loves me for it. She comes to me later and she's like, you're right. And I'm hungry. My recovery isn't 100%. I said, how long have you been doing that?
Yeah.
How often are you adding just a drop set to one set?
Yeah.
She's like, whenever, when she trains with someone. And I was like, that's why you're hungry.
Yeah.
You're needing more calories. I said that's something, because I line everything up to a T. So it's like just that little thing of like, it's a lightweight. You think it's not doing anything, but that
Yeah.
actual breakdown of the muscle is just, it's extra
Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah.
And in the long run, it plays a big role.
Yeah. Especially something like a drop set. People don't realize those are the types of things that will, really break things down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do any of it.
No, I don't ever do drop sets. It's because like that for me, it's more of a CNS thing because it fatigues. If
Yeah.
full body fatigue, you
Yeah.
just can't go there. Or
I do
muscle rounds
sets.
are the same way.
Yeah. I'll do 2 sets, and then sometimes my back off set will have some type of
Yeah.
uh, technique to it. It would probably be a rest pause before it's, just going balls to wall on something.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing we pull when it comes to prep,
Yeah.
down to a straight set. And then now we're doing only one set.
Yeah.
So everything's so, lined up perfectly. And, that's why you really have to, if you're paying for a coach, it's like, it's not a suggestion, especially when it comes to me. I don't know about other coaches, but when I give you 2 sets,
Yeah.
it's not a suggestion. It's you're doing
Right.
2 sets.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah. And that's something people don't understand too a lot of times with training because somebody will write a program. It's like four sets of 15. And it's like, what is that? 4 work sets of 15? Or are we counting, we're pyramiding up, right? You're not counting, you know what I mean? It's just like you gotta write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in like doing the way thing. I believe in what I do. It
Yeah.
works. So yeah,
Yeah.
I see training programs, I see diets from other coaches, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how is anything? I just don't get how anything's factored in. You can't predict everything, but
Yeah.
energy expenditure, energy in, energy out is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That goes back to like food diets as well. It's why it's so much more precise doing food diets rather, because it's like exactly what the person is responding to.
Yeah, no, yeah. You don't, I don't, I have, if you're prepping, you're not doing macros ever,
No.
ever. Some
Right.
people do, and I'm like, what the? You can do your
Yeah.
own. No, we're gonna do it perfectly.
Yeah.
I got a bikini pro that's about to start prep Saturday, and she's been doing macros for her whole off season. But this past month, I said, make yourself a plan, get
Yeah.
on the plan, do not veer off the plan. And then
Yeah.
once prep starts, that's what we're starting with.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, I don't know if rice or potatoes is going to set you off and put you back for 2 weeks. Like, it's just
Yeah.
why take out all the yeses.
Yeah, all the human error is what that's what I always say. It's like human error. I don't know if you know how to measure your macros. And then if you come to me and it's like, well, I don't know why you're up 2 pounds. I don't know what you ate.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes another conversation. Jesus Christ, I could go off.
But yeah, for prep, I think, yeah, it's different. It's absolutely different for a lifestyle. Obviously, you want to know how to live, but if you're doing prep, this is a whole different. It's like
Especially like if you're not just I want to do a show and it's like I want to be an IFBB pro, like act like it, like it. Treat yourself like it. There is no room for alcohol in this sport. Like,
yeah,
Lord, push your recovery off to next fucking month.
yeah.
Like,
It's funny to hear you say that because I used to like, I think that now, I don't know. I've had I've had 2 alcoholic beverages in the last 7 years probably. And I just was like, man, when I was like 21, I used to drink like a fish, and you could drink all weekend and be fine. And now like, I did once, I had a girlfriend over, we were drinking during the pandemic and I had like 2 shots of vodka and I'm like, feeling it for like 4 days. You know what I mean? It's just like, why
your
would
recovery
you?
is so stunted. It's crazy. So in college, my freshman year, I got in trouble for drinking a couple times.
Mhm.
And my last like assignment that I had to do was like write an essay about like
Oh,
drinking alcohol.
yeah.
And I actually like turned it into like a research thing for me about like my own personal experience about okay, I'm going to drink and see what would come when it comes to the gym, how long the repercussions last.
Yeah.
And it's 3 days. 3 days that I cannot hit numbers. I cannot just perform the way I want to perform. I can't eat the way I want to eat for 3 days, which is
Yeah.
crazy. And I'll give you your birthday and
Yeah.
I'll give you Christmas, unless you have like another main holiday as a different religion.
Right.
I had girls asking me for New Year's, and I said that's a social holiday.
Right.
Like, you
Right.
want to drink on New Year's? Find another coach. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't justify it. I'll let you have a glass of wine with your family at Christmas and on
Right.
your birthday, do whatever the fuck you want. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to make like a random day a justification to put your recovery off for a week.
Well, and even if you're in prep, it's like, I mean, I've had clients prep through the holidays and it's like, you chose a January show.
Oh, hell no. Oh, yeah, you're in prep. Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
No. My coach doesn't even want me leaving the state, leaving my gym. Like, when it
Right.
comes to prep, I gotta do a couple trips this in the next couple of weeks, and I'm just waiting. I haven't told him. I know he's gonna be like, meh. He's always like, standardized, same time every day,
This was something I was going to ask you too. What is your gym? Because it looks so bougie. The floors are like marble.
Oh, the one that I binge posting now.
Yeah.
I'm at Legacy Barbell. It's in the Woodlands, Texas.
Okay.
Just a random gym. Sometimes we train at Iron City, which is like the black and red one.
Yeah.
It's like here. I love the atmosphere there, but their equipment just ain't it. But we're actually, so Labrada is opening up a private training facility essentially for Hunter.
Okay.
So by the end of the month, I will not see another human in the gym, and I can not wait.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
Very,
awesome.
very fortunate. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, I'm sure that we could keep talking, but we should probably wrap this up, but I always talk about that I would like to have, you know, I want to put the option out there when you get closer to prep, maybe we'll have you on again. That would be really
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. Just let me know if you have a free day. I
Yeah,
like dancing. I'm a bodybuilder, so
it's really funny. Is your job coaching? Is that what you do then full time? Okay. So where can people reach you if they're looking for a coach?
So I actually have like a 300-person wait list.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
accepting
right. All right. So
very grateful for what I have, but yeah, there's a link in my bio, but
okay.
you'll just get a message saying stay in my story because I'll accept. I'm so intricate with everything I do that like I'll accept like 5 and then get them like situated to a T, which can take 4 weeks, can take 8 weeks. But I'll wait until they're 100%. I mean, I don't do it for the money. I do it because I love it. So I don't just accept clients like because I want the money. I love what I do. So
yeah.
sometimes I'm like probably in like 4 weeks, I'll accept some more maybe.
And you want to make sure that people are coachable and all that other stuff too, because, you know, I think I was going to say that I think that that's one of the hardest things because people say they want to get into coaching, and it's like you only through experience can you learn this discernment process of who is going to be a good client. And I think it takes and a good assessment form, I think, can get you to understand who, you know, you might be working with. But I feel like 75% of the people I end up saying I'm not going to work with you because you know what I mean? Like you just know it's going to be a terrible headache.
Yeah, I'm very, very fortunate. So I have like a onboarding sheet and then an assessment sheet. My onboarding sheet, I tell it how it is. I tell you how I operate, what I expect,
Nice.
what I will tolerate, which is not much. And I lifestyle or bodybuilders, I treat you the exact same, which I make very apparent because even you're a lifestyle person who might not want to compete, but you are reaching out to me for me to coach you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get what I give, and that's it. So I'm very, very fortunate. I absolutely love my people.
Yeah.
You know, if the way I'm able to kind of, I don't know, just how I am around, eating disorders and this, that, and the next thing, I'm very, very, grateful to how I'm able to handle everything to the point where, I have people who had full blown eating disorders and they are gone. Demaya including, I gave her a free meal this week and she was like, I was like, what'd you have? And she was like, rice. And I was like, why? And she's like, dude, you fixed me. I don't even want to eat. She's like, I don't even want to eat off plan. Like I'm like, so it's awesome. But I truly love my people. It's not like I have anyone who are like just it's their check-in, it's this, that, and the next thing. And I communicate so often with everybody. You are sending me videos almost every day. So I know you as a person. We're talking every day. To the point where I can have a client fly in from across the country. I've never met them and I'm good to go.
Nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, Liv, what's your Instagram? What is it again? So that people know.
Liv Roth with 2 H's.
Okay.
LIVROTHH.
Okay. All right. So, well, thank you for your time. It's been really fun. Yeah. Are you off to training today? Or are you done?
I'm off, but I'm gonna go do mobility and take care of myself.
Yeah, that's all that's part of the recovery as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very important.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, to another episode of the Women's Maximum Fitness Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at buffcake22 at Women's Maximum Fitness. And to remember that healthy looks different on everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.